Let's start with biology and the service of mankind. The science of biology has been helping mankind in many ways in increasing food production, in combating diseases, and in protecting and conserving environment. Biological advances in the field of food and health have resulted in high standard of living. Plant production has been tremendously increased by improving existing varieties and developing high yield and disease resistant varieties of plants and animals used as food. Plant and animal breeders have developed through selective breeding using the principles of genetics new better varieties of wheat, rice, corn, chicken, cow, and sheep. Poultry breeders have developed broilers for getting quick and cheap white meat, genes for disease resistance, and other desirable characteristics are introduced in plants using the techniques of genetic engineering. Such transgenic plants having foreign DNA incorporated into their cells, can be propagated by cloning, which is the production of genetically identical copies of organisms by asexual reproduction, using special techniques such as tissue culture techniques. Plant pathogenic fungi and insect pests of crops which weaken the plant and reduce the yield had traditionally been controlled by using chemical fungicides and insecticides. Use of these chemicals possess toxicity problems for human beings as well as the environmental pollution. Moreover, there are chances of insects become resistant to the effect of these chemicals. Biological control. Control of this by some living organism eliminates all such hazards. In biological control, pests are destroyed by using some living organism that compete with or even eat them. An aphid that attacks walnut tree is being controlled biologically by a wasp that parasitizes this aphid. Even some bacteria are being used as biopesticides. Effective control of a particular disastrous disease or all common diseases of a plant can be achieved by using all relevant appropriate methods of disease control. Such an approach of disease control is called integrated disease management. Soil is a complex medium. It is almost impossible to conduct experiments on nutrient requirements of plants by growing them in soil. Hydroponic culture technique is used to test whether a certain nutrient is essential for a plant or not. In this technique, the plants are grown in aerated water to which nutrient-malient salts have been added. Hydroponic farming, however, is yet not feasible. Astronauts may be used it for growing vegetables. Different techniques of food preservation have also been developed for protecting food from spoilage and for its use and transport over long distance without damaging its quality. One of these is pasteurization, developed by Louis Pasteur. It is being widely used for preservation of milk and milk products. Disease control. There has been fantastic progress in the area of health and disease control. Three-pronged actions are usually taken against various diseases. Preventive measures, vaccination, immunization, drug treatment, and gene therapy. Preventive measures. The advances in biological sciences have provided us information about the causative agents of these diseases and their modes of transmission. For instance, the AIDS, acquired immune deficiency syndrome, is caused by HIV, human immunodeficiency virus, and it spreads through free sexual contact, through blood transfusion by using contaminated syringes or surgical instruments, etc. Therefore, doctors advise us to take precautions on these fronts so that we do not contract the disease, which is at present incurable. Similarly, hepatitis is caused by H virus, which is spread through blood transfusion by using contaminated syringes and surgical instruments, etc. In this case, also doctors advise us to be careful and avoid the point of contact. Vaccination and immunization. Many diseases like polio, whooping cough, measles, mumps, etc. can easily be controlled by vaccination or shots. Edward Jenner first developed the technique of vaccination in 1796. Cowpox pus is known as Vika. From this word evolved the present term vaccination and vaccine. You will learn more about vaccination in chapter number 6. Since the inoculation or vaccination is carried out to make the people immune from viral or bacterial epidemics, or for some diseases, the individuals are vaccinated in their early life to make them immune to those diseases. It is claimed that smallpox has been totally eliminated from the world by using this method. Scientists are making continuous efforts to develop vaccine against other diseases. Even vaccine against AIDS is being administered in humans on experimental lab basis. Drug treatment and gene therapy. If a person becomes sick with disease, he is subjected to the action of antibiotics, which can kill bacteria. The antibiotics are, however, useful in bacterial disease, and that only when the bacteria have not developed resistance to antibiotics. In cancer, radiotherapy and chemotherapy are also used. In radiotherapy, the cancerous part is exposed to shortwave radiations from the radioactive material repeatedly at regular intervals. In Pakistan, there are several centers which are carrying out the radiotherapy to control cancer. Chemotherapy consists of administering certain anti-cancer chemicals to patients at regular intervals, and these chemicals may kill both cancers and normal cells. Recently, a new technique has been developed to repair defective genes, and this consists of isolating the normal gene and inserting into the host gene through bone marrow cells, called the gene therapy. Combating disease utilizing all methods as and when required and ensuring a participation of community in this program is known as integrated disease management. This requires awareness of community about the severity of the problem it causes and its remedies. This is a very effective program for elimination and control of dangerous diseases from the human society. Besides its contribution to food production and health of a man, biology has discovered a number of means and developed technologies for the welfare of mankind, as for the example of cloning, protection, and conservation of environment. Cloning is a technology for achieving eugenic aims. A clone is defined as a cell or individual and all its asexually produced offspring. All members of a clone are genetically identical except when a mutation occurs. Generally, normal animals reproduce naturally by cloning. Several insects and many plants do in some circumstances, whereas few do so regularly. In 1997, scientists in Scotland succeeded in cloning a sheep. Other mammalian species have since been cloned. In this procedure, the nucleus from a fertilized egg is removed and a nucleus from a cell of fully developed individual is inserted in this place. The altered zygote is then implanted in a suitable womb where it completes its development. The new individual formed in this way is a genetically identical clone of the individual whose nucleus was used. Thus, cloning could make multiple copies of a desired genotype. Another type of cloning is the division of a single egg or early embryo into one or more separate embryos. This is the same process that normally creates identical twins. Offspring from this type of cloning are genetically identical but carry chromosomes from each of the two parents. This type of cloning has already been used to produce genetically identical cattle and other farm animals. Man is likely to adopt cloning techniques for commercial production of valuable animals of known pedigree such as horses. At some places, scientists are making attempts to clone human embryo, which they believe can serve as transplant donor. There is a lot of controversy on the issue as to whether human cloning should be attempted or not.